Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today. As always, we're going to wait a couple of minutes so more people can join. So in 2-3 minutes, we will start with the proper webinar or masterclass in this case. Okay. Today we have some exciting news, and as always, if you have any question during the session, please write it up. At the end, I'm going to take a moment and a couple of minutes to respond to any of the questions that you may have. Okay. In 2 more minutes, we will begin. Let's wait for a couple more people to join. Hello, everyone that is joining. We are just waiting 1 more minute for a couple more people to join to the session, and then we will begin with the masterclass. Okay. I think we can start now. Thank you all for being here today. As you know, this masterclass is going to be recorded. You're going to be able to find it in your knowledge base, and you should get a copy of the recording. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you some exciting updates that we have from our November release. This time, we have a long list of updates that you're going to see on platform. I'm going to run through them now, and as I just mentioned a couple of moments ago, please, if you have any question, feel free to type it in the Q&A section. And yes, I think I just responded to the first answer that if this is going to be recorded and shared. Yes, of course, this will be recorded and shared. And if you have an urgency for a copy of the recording, please reach to your corresponding CSM, and you will get a copy of the recording. Okay, let me share my screen real quickly, and then we can begin with the presentation. And you should all be able to see my screen now. We're going to go step by step as always, and the idea now is that we're going to start a new valuation from the beginning. We're going to click the new create valuation button because now we have unified the process of a private and a public company valuation. Okay. Now, when you start a valuation process, at the top right, you're going to see a drop down where you're going to be able to select if you're valuing either a private or a public company. Okay. In the case it's going to be a private company or public company, you both need to start with the company name. We're going to go with a private company this time, and we're going to select one that I always use as an example called Tienda Stambo. This is a Peruvian company. Okay, this is like a convenience store. Let's start with that one. Let's hit next. We're not going to upload any supporting documents, so let's hit next then and start by the first improvement that is better and more accurate EVA AI insights. As you can see, the time that it took EVA AI to bring insights to the platform has been reduced, and now you have more detailed location, industry, currency, maturity, and similar public company extracted automatically. And as always, you can go ahead and remove any of this if it is not accurate, and we can go to the next step. Basically, you can then select the industry that I've just removed. I'm going to just add retail and a fictional number here. So we can start with the valuation process. When you hit create valuation, this is our first UX design that we have improved. You now see what the platform is doing and how it's creating the new valuation. You're seeing which step it's setting up first and second, and then you're going to see the full valuation as always. So now you're a little bit more aware of the time that you need to wait for the valuation to start. Okay. The first topic that we're going to see after this is more mentioned. Now, it's not something that you're going to see live, but it's that for the qualitative assessment AI features, we have implemented a new A/B testing system. So now we have a couple of prompts running in the back end, so the AI will recommend based on the more accurate and the less changed prompt. So the idea is that every time you run EVA AI and make adjustments, it will learn from your adjustments and it will be better every time. In this case, I'm just running one analysis. This will randomly pick one of the models, and it will go ahead and perform the qualitative assessment automatically for you. Yep. Now, besides UX and mentions of NAB testing, we have improved a lot of things in your forecast section. In the forecast section, you already know that we had our benchmarking system set here on the right-hand side of each account. Here you can review different benchmarks and how your expected forecasts go against them. But you can also go ahead and do that now for balance sheet line items. These new benchmarking plus icons have been added, so you can now run a more in-depth analysis of your accounts. If we go, for example, to the EBITDA margin benchmarking plus, we're going to see our forecasted EBITDA. You can see that that's a more thick line right there, and the different type of benchmarks that we're using for the forecast. But a good or a new feature that we have implemented here as well, if you allow me to go to sales real quickly, is some AI insight. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Okay. So for example, here, when you are seeing your sales growth rates for a year-by-year basis, at the top right corner, you see your new EVA AI icon. You can go ahead and get AI insights for these growth rates. Basically, AI will analyze the benchmarking and your forecast, and it will give you some important or relevant insights regarding your assumptions. You're going to find a quick summary, an analysis of the benchmarking, the drivers that support the forecast, and potential challenges that we may face applying the forecast numbers that we have applied. At the end, the platform will also give you a conclusion, and if you want, you can make adjustments to the forecast of the sales growth, margin rates, etc. Okay. I think we have a question here. Okay, Tim, I think that the sound problems are already fixed. If not, please let me know, and I can review that again. But with that in mind, we're going to talk about now another feature that I think is very relevant and very, very important, and it's the ability to import data into the platform. Okay? As you know, the platform before, you need to do a mapping system for an Excel file, where you need to use our export tabs that you were able to find within the new scenario and next steps. For each of the plans that you have available, you have an Excel file that basically is a summary tab that you need to add to your forecast. Now, with the help of EVA AI, we have also included an option to upload either PDF files or Excel files or both, and the platform will automatically extract the data directly into the platform. Okay? Now, if you go to the top left corner, either create a new scenario or directly upload a PDF or Excel file with EVA AI. If you create a new scenario, you're also going to find the option after you select the type of model, you can upload the PDF or Excel using EVA AI. Another platform is going to go ahead and allow you to add up to 5 documents, either PDF or Excel, up to 10 megabytes of combined weight, and basically extract the data from there. Okay. Okay, Tim, I think Tim is mentioning that he has problems with the audio. Please let me know if that's the case for you as well, so I can review. But I'm going to just go in unless somebody else has the same issue. Okay, I just received another inquiry. Please give me 1 second, and I hope this fixes the audio. Just 1 minute, please. Okay, this should have fixed the audio problems. If not, again, please let me know. Okay, just give me a second. If the problems are still persisting, I will review this and I'll be back in a second. Okay, Alberto, thanks for confirming. Thanks, Victor. Okay, perfect. I think that the audio issues are fixed. What I was saying, a quick summary, is that now with AI, you can upload not only using org mapping or summary system from Excel, but you can upload any PDF or Excel file up to 5 documents at a time with a combined weight of 10 megabytes. Basically, the platform then will extract the data automatically and allow you to select which inputs you're going to bring into the model. Okay? Before I do that, I'm just going to remove the scaling because, as you see in the top left, we're working in millions, and the document that I'm going to upload is working in thousands. So I don't want anything to be messed up. So let's go to thousands, save the changes, and back to forecast. I'm going to refresh the data so we can have the latest data in display. Okay, and then we're going to go and create a new scenario, start from scratch again, advanced plan, and upload a PDF Excel. Okay, now here I'm just going to drag and drop one Excel file. Again, I'm choosing Excel because I have a model set up in Excel already. You can use your own models in PDF if you have them. There is no problem with that. Or you can use a combination of both Excel and PDF. If you give me just 1 second, you're going to see that I'm going to drag a document here. Okay. Okay, perfect. You see the Excel file here. You also see that we have uploaded one of the 5 possible files here at the bottom right. And I'm just going to hit upload, hit next, and I'm going to just call this scenario advanced plan. I'm going to hit create scenario, and after a couple of seconds, I'm going to see an option to actually extract the data. If you don't see that right away, do not worry. At the top right corner, you're going to see a tasks button where you can actually go ahead and see that the task is pending. Okay. These will, in a couple of seconds, show you that you're going to have the document ready and you're going to be able to action it. Before I do that, I'm just going to go ahead and show you how the new EVA AI features look, for example, for balance sheet line items, as, for example, fixed assets. If you go to fixed assets, you're going to see the forecast increasing of fixed assets. You have the different types of benchmarks. Some cases we're going to have more data than others. For example, here we have private companies in the region and private companies globally, and you can see the details at the bottom. Okay. Now, if we go back to the task section, we should see that this is ready. And once we click here, we're going to see a preview. Okay. On the top left, we're going to see the name of the document that the data is coming from. And we're going to see the figures, for example, for revenue, operating expenses, D&A, interest expense, and all of the other data that we can ingest from Excel or PDF. As you can see, we have all the numbers forecasted here. And if this is accurate or correct, or if we want to remove something, you can also turn it off. There's no problem with that. But if everything is accurate, like in this case, I can just click accept, and the platform will bring that data from using AI. Okay. When platform brings data using AI, you're going to see purple cells here. As you can see in the top middle eye, these values have been set using EVA AI. Again, you can modify and change them if you want, but now these numbers are coming from AI. Again, I can go to the time frame button and reduce the time frame until 2029. So this is aligned with what I uploaded, and you can make any changes that you want to the model up to this point. Okay, as mentioned, this is going to simplify a lot the process of ingesting data into the platform. You can do this with Excels or PDF files, no problem at all. Now, I had a question before regarding peers and transactions and how to better improve the results. I didn't respond it because that's going to be our next step. In the peers and in the transaction selection, we are improving how we do recommendations. Okay, we have been setting a different A/B testings for peers and transactions for the last couple of months, and now we're improved up to a point that our recommendations are going to be much better now. Okay, the recommendations are going to start small. We're not gonna do a full 15 or 10 company list. We're going to do a shorter list this time. Stefan, I see a question from Stefan. Sorry for pausing like that. I don't think if I get the question, but if there is no information in the Excel file that you upload, the platform will not extract any data. Okay, but getting back to the peers topic, the recommendations are going to be shorter. Between 5 and 6 companies are going to be recommended, and now we have added at the top right a show suggestions button. If you click show suggestions, you're going to see at the bottom a new list of peers is going to appear. And basically, these are going to be peers, Valutico peers that are suggested. In this case, the companies that are here are going to be much more accurate and much more relevant to our valuation than they were before. Also, this is going to happen in transactions. So other smart recommendation engines have been added here under suggestions, where you can go and check by keywords, the ones that you said at the beginning, for your country, region, or globally, peers that are similar to the top companies, or you can just do the common advanced search that we are used to, that is now going to be appearing on the right-hand side. You can use all the previous filters that you know, and you can run a quick search here. Now, we're going to keep optimizing the peers and transaction recommendation engines, and we are shortly going to start to implement similarity analysis as well. You're going to be able to show or to see the similarity between the peers that that we are recommending and the company that you are valuing, also using AI. Okay. Something very important also that is going to be added here to this stage is something that has been requested by a lot of users. As you know, we use or we do valuations based on the last historical year or forward-looking multiples for 2025 and 2026, or 1 year and 2 years forward-looking. Now, as for research, some of our users would like to see and to check how historical multiples have been increasing, decreasing in the last 2 or 3 years. For those purposes, now within the financial section of each company, we're going to add the historical data, the historical multiples for the companies. You're going to see the last 3 historical years of data, sales, EBITDA, EBIT, and net income, and then you're going to see the historical valuation multiples as well. Okay, for 2022, 2023, and 2024. Okay, basically, you're going to be able to do this for any of the companies that you see here. Again, there's not going to be a historical multiple valuation method, but you're going to be able to review and check the historical multiples for all the peers that you have. Luis, that's a good question. This section, the peer section, is basically for listed companies or stock listed peers. The next section for transactions is going to contain both public and non-public companies within the matrix, let's call it like that. So even though in this case we cannot find private held companies, we can do so in the next step, the transactions model. Now, the transactions model is undergoing A/B testing for a lot of things. So we're looking for better improvements in the recommendation engine and also in the suggestions at the bottom. But we're working into giving a much more precise recommendation engine in the upcoming weeks. And as I mentioned, the platform will learn from your movements and changes of peers and transactions. So this will also help the platform to improve in the recommendation engine. Okay. I think up to this point, we don't have any additional questions. So let's move to the next section that is within the cost of capital screen. Okay, as you know, a couple of releases ago, we launched, besides the cap method, the build-up method. Okay, and now in both of them, we have launched with AI also some insights. So if you see here at the top right corner of the explanation, for example, of the beta, we can change and select the public comparables median or a beta. But now if we click the AI, we just submit the information, and we're going to have some AI insights revealed to us, explaining if this is accurate or precise or not, and how can this be defended or not. Okay, this is going to take a couple of seconds, but basically you're going to see a summary of the financial performance of the company, the drivers that support the application metric or the applied beta in this case, potential challenges for the applied metric, and a final conclusion. In this case, the unlevered beta of 0.6 represents a balanced assessment of the company's systematic risk. You can, of course, read this much more in detail, but as you can see, now we give insights so you can do you can understand a little bit better why or if these assumptions that we're taking are correct or accurate at any level. And this is not just for beta, for example, for the risk-free rate, you can also check the EVA AI or the cost of debt, well, in this case, the equity ratio, the risk-free rate, as I mentioned before, the equity risk premium. All of these features can be reviewed with EVA AI, and you can get insights on basically those suggestions. I think we have a question up to this point. Okay, Christos, that's a good question. Regarding LTM multiples, when it comes to peers, we actually deployed in the last release LTM multiples. As an FYI, as I always mentioned at the end of the meeting, you got a little bit ahead of me. But all these features roll out progressively to all of our users. Okay, we do badges to ensure that the quality is top. So if you do not see the LTM multiples yet in the platform, you can reach to your corresponding CSM to ask for activation or early activation. But if you go at the top right corner to the customize table button, now you're going to be able to turn on, besides more financials in the local currency, etc., you can turn on the LTM multiples for sales, for EBITDA, for EBIT, and you can just basically see those within your table here and use them as valuation methods. When it comes to the numbers that are going to be applied to the LTM multiples, remember, we do not have LTM business plan, but within the forecast section, you're going to find an LTM tab at the top right corner. The default is going to be that the platform takes the last historical year data. It can manually modify the LTM inputs for sales, EBITDA, EBIT, and net income, and this is going to be the numbers that we use against LTM multiples. I hope that responded to your question. And again, if you want, you can review this feature now. Also within the customized table, if you scroll all the way down, we also have added some statistical analysis like standard errors, T-stat, trading volume of the stocks. I'm just going to turn it on so you can take a look at it. But we have added all of these features as well here. If we scroll all the way to the right, we have the beta section where we now have the levered beta, unlevered beta, R squared, T-stat, standard error, and the index that we're using to compute these betas. And then we have the trading volumes of stock, the daily trading volume, latest daily trading volume, the average of the last 3 months, the percentage of daily trades, and the average of the last 3 months, as well as the shares outstanding for each of the peers. So in case you want to do a little bit more in-depth statistical analysis, you can also do it now with data that we provide. Okay. I think we covered every question so far, and there is just one more thing to cover up to this point, if I'm not mistaken. And let me check real quickly. Yes, and that comes with the report. As you know, when we're done with evaluation, we have the option to print a report either in Word or in PowerPoint. You also know that we try to improve our reports from time to time. Now, what we have done is we have introduced a new Word report that is a little bit more friendly, and it's a little bit more, let's call it pretty, if you want to call it that. It's more modern, so you now can you download our classic Word report, but now we have this modern landscape report that it's, let's say, it takes a lot of inspiration from our PowerPoint report. Okay, I already have one copy downloaded, so I'm going to share that one for you. It's for the same company, for the same valuation, and I think you're going to find a very familiar layout when I share my screen. Okay. As you can see, the first screen is a very, very similar, if not equal, to our PowerPoint presentation. Again, it's not the same, it's very similar though. And now we have this landscape mode that will actually allow us to do a more precise valuation. We have simplified the report a lot. So in this case, a report, the classic version of the report was 112 pages. This one is just 66. We have summarized some of the key points for valuations, company information. We have now given space for you to add company history or detailed information. The manual inputs in this new Word report are much less than in the previous one, so you're going to just focus on data and basically getting information. The financial statements, they all fit much clearer here, and now we have split the historical financials and the forecast section as it has been requested before. You can also do this with placeholders, so it's going to be much easier for you now to print your historical data in one page and your forecast in another one. I have a couple of questions that I'm going to respond. The first one is from Andrew. And that's actually a good question. At the moment, to calculate the historical multiples of the peers, we're using the current capitalization structure of the company. So current enterprise value and market capitalization. As a next step, and in future developments, what we're going to be doing is basically giving you the option to select either spot enterprise value and market cap or current market cap and enterprise value. At the moment, we're using the current data. And I'm going to get back to that in a minute, Andrew, to show you again how to get the LTM multiples. Don't worry about that. And we now have a question from Vanda. And yes, Vanda, your custom transactions is your own private database for transactions. Okay, so when you are within the transaction section, I will jump back there. You can add your own custom transactions, and then you can use them in any valuation that you have. So I'm gonna finish with the report and get back into the platform really quickly to show you both the LTM multiples for the peers and also to show you the custom transactions one more. So let's keep going the report. As mentioned, now you can break the income statement and the financial statements, so you can get historical financial statement, forecast financial statement. You're going to see all of the graphics of the benchmarking system that we have and that we provide. So you have a very nice graphic visualization. We have our KPIs, additional metrics, all of our rating analysis as well, and basically you have our normalization adjustments. This looks much more clear, and basically you have a much more detailed and precise report with much less manual input required. As you can see, all of the data from the platform is being printed here, all of the valuation results. You can go ahead and take a look, and as always, everything is Office native, so you can manipulate and change anything that you want. I'm going to quickly go back to the platform to go through the peers and how to open or activate the LTM multiples, and to the transactions to show you one more time the custom transactions and how they work. So when it comes to the peer section, okay, at the top right corner, you're going to have a customized table button. And there you're going to find within a couple of options, including the LTM multiples. For example, EV sales LTM, EV EBITDA LTM, EV EBIT LTM, and again, price earnings LTM. You just need to turn this on and then close because this is automatically updated. If you scroll to the right, now you're going to see price earnings LTM right here. Okay, and you can go ahead and adjust as you wish. Now, when it comes to custom transactions, you can find and use the custom transactions within the transaction section here, okay? But you can set them up either manually here at the top right or in the custom transaction section. Okay? You can see that I have multiple transactions here. Okay, you can download this data into an Excel file to edit, adjust, or add more transactions at the top right corner. You can upload data Excel files with multiple transactions here as well. For that, you need to follow this template. But all of these transactions become your own personal database that you can use in all the valuations that you have. So if we go back to our Tienda Stambo valuation and back to the transaction section, I'm going to go to my advanced search now. This is going to pop up here on the right. If it does not, please select advanced search here at the bottom. And now at the bottom, where I find the dataset filter, I can just select my custom transactions. If I select custom transactions and run a search, I'm going to close this. You can see that all the transactions that are going to be here at the bottom are going to be from my custom transaction. Okay. Why it just says 5? Because I have a couple of other filters applied. But again, if you want to directly add a custom transaction here within this valuation, you can manually do so by clicking right there. Okay. I think that for now, that are most or all of the updates that we have launched in this release. We have a lot of updates related to AI, a lot of improvements when it all comes to data importing to our platform. As you can see, we have more insights, more benchmarkings for you, and we have a little bit more of analysis, both in benchmarking, its cost of capital, and that forecast as a whole. So I hope this has been useful and that you like the new features that we're implementing. As mentioned, some of them, like the A/B testing for qualitative assessment, peers and transactions, you cannot directly see, but you're going to see the results with the better recommendations of peers, the better recommendations of transactions in every new evaluation that you work at. Alberto, that's actually a good point. Now you can go ahead. Let me share my screen. When you share evaluation, you can go ahead and change the role of the person that receives the evaluation. Okay? As you know, to share evaluation, you click the share button, turn the evaluation public, copy and share the link with anybody. Now, if you go to your manage valuation folders, let me check if I have a shared valuation here that I can use, because otherwise it's going to be a little bit hard for me to explain this one. Okay, so let me share this with one of my teammates that is on a meeting, and I'm gonna go ask her to copy the evaluation really quickly, so we can go ahead and review this together. I'm just gonna start to open the manage valuation folders. This is the evaluations that we worked at, and if you give me a second, we will be seeing this. But again, you're also going to see the evaluation shared with you here. You're going to see the permissions that you're going to have, okay? And you're going to be able to assign those permissions when it comes to your evaluations. So give me a minute so I can review really quickly uh, what evaluation I can share, and then we can tackle that. I'm going to review more questions at the moment. Okay, that's a very good question. How do we prevent AI hallucination when it comes to peers and transactions that are non-existent or that are fictitious? That also comes with their database. Okay, we use Capital IQ as a database for peers and transactions. For transactions, we also have additional databases like Ballhorst and IMIS. And basically, what we do is we have taught our AI to extract the data directly from our databases. So it's not going to create a peer or create a transactions. It's just going to find those transactions that are similar within the databases. Okay, I hope that responded to the question. While we wait for a minute so we can see the editor role in a moment, I'm going to open the floor for a couple more questions, and we should and let's just wait for a minute so we can see if we can test the editor role now. Okay, just give me a second. Okay. Vanda, I think I don't fully understand your question. Whether the inputs affected by the transactions folder in evaluation? I think I don't fully get the question. Sorry about that. And Christos, that's actually a good question. Yes, the market capitalization and capital structure that is used to calculate the multiples as well as the enterprise value is the market cap and capital structure as of the date of the valuation. So if you change or backdate your valuation back to June 30, 2025, the market cap and enterprise value will be the ones for the company as of that date. Okay, so the enterprise value and market cap may shift a bit, and the multiples may be a little bit affected by this as well. Hey, Eduardo, that's actually a good question. When it comes to valuing specific or small companies like startups or a more niche company as a fintech, the new AI insights may give you a pretty good help when it comes to the forecasts. Okay, as I told you before, now for all of the benchmarking plus items, we can go ahead and see or use that new AI feature so the platform can tell us if this is a precise assumption, if it's a good assumption, if there is something that needs to be worked on, if it's defensible or not. So now that also will be varying depending on the industry of the company that we're valuing. So if we're valuing a company that is a startup or is in a fintech industry, the AI will recognize this and give us recommendations based on that as well. So yes, in short, the AI tool can help with these new insights to value difficult companies. Okay. Any additional question, guys, before we continue? Okay, there's no open questions, so I'm just waiting the confirmation of something to see if we can test today the editor role when it comes to sharing. Um, I'm going to start to explain how it works. If we cannot show this live, we will for sure record a video of it and you will find it in our knowledge base. Okay, but basically now what we're going to be able to do is sharing valuations and make them available for everybody in our team to edit. As you know right now, you share a copy of evaluation. This copy can be edited and adjusted, but you're not going to see that reflected within your own platform. Okay, the person should then reshare that copy of the evaluation with you so you can go ahead and see that. Now, when it comes to the new editor role function, what we're going to be doing is giving the option to share the evaluation as a copy or sharing the evaluation as an editable. When you share it as an editable, you're going to be able, as an owner, to set and tell who can edit that valuation. You can turn on and off those accesses, and that persons that are assigned the editor role can go ahead and access the valuation to change and make adjustments that you can see reflected within your own platform. Okay. Now, there's a little constraint to that. The editor role will allow just one person to edit the evaluation at a time. This is for the moment we're seeing and looking at the option to changing that. But the idea is that two persons do not, let's call it, backstab themselves, so they do not undo the work of the other person. So at the moment, if you share the evaluation with your teammate and they are editing the evaluation, if you want to take control and you are the owner, you can do so, but they will stop being able to edit at that time. Okay. Right now, I don't think we're going to be able to share or showcase, at least in the masterclass, the editor role. But as I mentioned before, we for sure are going to record a video and upload this to our knowledge base. Okay, I'm going to wait for 2 more minutes to see if there's any additional questions regarding any of the topics that we have discussed during the masterclass. And if not, we can call it for today. Again, if you want a recording of the session, you can ask for it to your corresponding CSM. This will also be uploaded to our knowledge base, and you should also receive a recording email as well. Um, so just to summarize what we have reviewed on today's session, we have reviewed the new unification between public and private valuations. Now it's just one process or one button to start either valuation process. The new progress bar has been implemented, so when you're creating a valuation, now you know what the platform is doing and what part of the valuation or environment is putting together, so you know how long it's going to take. For the Q&A qualitative assessment, peers and transactions, we have implemented A/B systems that are constantly running and improving the recommendation engine for your peers and transactions, and also AI insights for QA. We have added more benchmarking for more accounts in the balance sheet, and also we have added the AI insights in the benchmarking plus items. The historical multiples have been implemented and have been added into the public peer section, so you now can check historical multiples of the last 3 years with spot market capital and spot enterprise value. Also, you're going to be able to find the LTM multiples in the platform. As mentioned before, you should also see in a rolling basis the recommendation engine and logic. Why are we recommending certain peers for your company? You have the new insights in the cost of capital section. So EVA AI will tell you basically if your assumptions are correct, are accurate, or defensible. And then we have the new word report as well. The new word report. I just show you the new word report. It's very similar to our PowerPoint presentation, but it's much easier to now edit and export fields. Sorry. Victor, if you mean a rollback modification for other users, if you mean that if we're going to apply these new features to every user, yes. All of the features that we mentioned here are going to be applied to all of our users in a rolling basis. They do not go to all of the users at once. We start to roll out progressively to see that there are no errors or mistake. As I mentioned earlier in the meeting, if you want any of the features to be implemented earlier for you, we can just reach to your corresponding CSM, and we can more than happily make that available for you. Jasmine, you have a couple of questions. So when it comes to valuations for pre-revenue startups, we do have the venture capital method implemented in the platform. This is used to value pre-revenue startups. You can use it to do so. And we're planning also some updates when it comes to the venture capital method. Right now, the IRR, it's a calculated value that is based on different factors. But now you're also going to be able to adjust and set up or preset the required ARR for your investment, and the platform will calculate the valuation for you with that in mind as well. Okay, so I hope this meeting has been useful. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to either of your own CSM, or you can reach out on Intercom as well. We are more than happy to help. And we will be sharing the recording with you shortly. Okay, have a great rest of your day and have a great rest of your week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.